Imagine this. You wake up one morning, you head to the bank to get a loan, and the teller just looks at you and says, "Sorry, can't help you. According to our records, you're dead." Now, that sounds like the plot of some wild movie, right? Well, for a man named Lal Bihari, this was no movie. It was the beginning of a nearly 2-decade-long nightmare.
I mean, just think about that for a second. It's a totally mind-bending question. This wasn't some philosophy class puzzle for Lal Bihari. This was his actual everyday reality. Every official document, every government office, just flat out insisting he was no longer among the living. So what do you even do? Where do you start?
Well, you start with something that is somehow both perfectly logical and completely absurd. If you want to prove to the world that you're alive, hey, why not invite everyone to your funeral and then just show up? That was the brilliant, desperate logic of a man who was being pushed right to the very edge. And let's be clear, this funeral wasn't just some crazy stunt. It was a public spectacle, it was a desperate cry for help, and it was just the first of many, many creative acts in a one-man war against a system that had basically erased him. He wasn't just fighting for his property, he was fighting for his very identity. Okay, so this brings up a huge question. How in the world does a living, breathing person get declared legally dead in the first place? Well, in Lal Bihari's case, the answer is tragically simple. It all came down to good old-fashioned family greed. This wasn't some clerical error. Oh no, this was a deliberate act of theft. The whole process was just shockingly easy. His uncle wanted the small piece of land that Lal Bihari had inherited. So he bribed an official, got a fake death certificate, and that was that. And that really is a key part of the story. A system where a person's entire existence can just be wiped out with a simple bribe. And boom, with a signature and a stamp, Lal Bihari, on paper, ceased to exist and his uncle got the land. So this discovery kicks off this just epic struggle. When Lal Bihari first found out he was dead, he probably figured, okay, this is a mistake, it'll be simple to correct. He was so wrong. He was about to start an 18-year journey through the tangled, frustrating maze of Indian bureaucracy. 18 years. Just let that sink in. 18. That is nearly 2 decades of being a ghost in your own life. Think about it. You can't get a loan, you can't officially use your own name, and you're constantly having to argue with officials that, yes, you are in fact standing right here, breathing in front of them. The first few years, he tried to work within the system. He filed the papers, he pleaded his case, but as the years just dragged on and nothing happened, his tactics had to change. He realized quiet requests just weren't working in a system that was clogged with total indifference. He had to start making some serious noise. And his own words really capture that frustration perfectly. When the system is basically designed to ignore you, sometimes the only option you have left is to do something so completely outrageous that they can't ignore you. He decided he had to become a problem that the bureaucracy just couldn't dismiss anymore. And when he says crazy, he means it. Get this. He kidnapped his own nephew, not to hurt him, but just to get arrested, hoping the police report would serve as official proof he existed. He legally added the word Mritak, which means dead, to his own name. He became Lal Bihari Mritak. He even ran for parliament against the Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi just to get his name, the name of a dead man, onto the official election rolls and into the newspapers. Genius, right? And after 18 long years of protests, ridicule, and just relentless fighting, the impossible finally happened. An official who actually took the time to look into his case reversed the decision. He had won. He was officially, legally alive again. I mean, this victory was about so much more than a piece of paper. Look at this. On one side, you have a legal phantom. No rights, no property, no voice. And on the other, a citizen reborn. He got his name back, he got his land back, he got his life back. It was this monumental win for one guy against a totally immovable system. But here's where the story takes another incredible turn. Because for Lal Bihari, the fight wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Through his whole journey, he discovered something shocking. He wasn't alone. There were hundreds, maybe even thousands, of other people just like him, living people declared dead by greedy relatives and corrupt officials. So what does he do? He founds the Mritak Sangh, which translates to the Association of Dead People. He took his own personal struggle and turned it into a nationwide campaign. Using the exact same tactics he had perfected, he started fighting for others, helping them navigate the bureaucracy, stage protests, and reclaim their own lives from the official records.
So Lal Bihari's personal battle finally ended in 1994, but his association's work, that continues to this day. His story had a happy ending, for him, but it exposed this deep, really unsettling flaw in the system. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other people are out there right now, living as ghosts in the records, fighting to prove the simple fact that they exist?